Are you sabotaging your shot at a great retirement? Steve Vernon writes the MoneyWatch blog Money for Life, and we've asked him to share some common mistakes he sees people making when planning for retirement. Hi, Steve. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Jill. Thanks for having me here.
So, Steve, I hear retirement mistakes, and I think you're going to say you got to save early, you got to save more, but you actually talk about health. What's that all about?
Well, Jill, first of all, yes, you have to do a good job with your finances. But there's more to a good retirement than just your money. And so if you take care of your health, not only will you enjoy your retirement more, but also you won't be spending your hard-earned savings on medical bills.
And how does the health care bill that was recently enacted, how does that help or hurt people? I mean, I know it sort of addresses the donut hole, but what else do you see in the bill that might change how a retiree looks at his health?
It's still going to cost you a lot of money if you try and retire before age 65. You'll spend a lot of money on medical insurance premiums, even after health care reform. And so what I encourage people to do is don't assume that you'll be okay. Do the math. See what it's going to cost you. And chances are good that after you do that math, you're going to decide, I can't afford these medical premiums and I'll have to keep working.
Oof. And well, let's talk about the retirement plans, because you talk about how let's say that people really concentrate on their 401ks when they're in the accumulation phase, but they're not so good once they retire, are they?
Well, right, Jill, and that's one mistake I see people make. Is first of all, they don't even do the math on how much they need to retire, but also they really don't understand how to draw down these 401k savings. And so what I like to do is help people understand how much money do you actually need. And if you're going to be retired in your 50s or 60s or 70s, you could live for 20 or 30 years. It takes a boatload of money to be retired that long. And so the first step is do the math. Figure out how much money you need. And once you do the math, you might think, oh, okay, I better delay my retirement a little bit.
And let's talk about that, because I think that's a very common mistake. I mean, there were times when I was an advisor and people would talk about, I really want to retire, and all you wanted to say was, no, keep working. And so how can we get people to realize the impact of just stopping 100% and instead of, say, either continuing to work longer or even working part-time?
Well, let's just pick up on the last one. Working part-time, I think, is an excellent way for people to think about their later years and have some money coming in. Maybe you don't have to save any more. You just have to have enough money to cover your living expenses and then let your savings grow until a time when you will draw them down.
And working actually impacts maybe your health and your longevity. Is that true?
You know, this is fascinating. What I found was that a study that showed that men between the ages of 50 and 70 who were working had half of the death rates of people who were fully retired.
Half?
Half.
Holy smokes.
The effect was there for women, but not quite as pronounced. And so that really grabbed my attention to see what's going on here. And what we found is that it's people who have powerful reasons for getting up in the morning. Those are the folks that are doing better.
Well, I'm going to take this away and say, keep working. That's your #1 excellent retirement plan. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Jill. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for watching.